This is a presentation of Metaphors and Periodical Editorials by Katharina Steinhauser and Aletha Connor. What we want to look into is, are there correlations or differences in metaphorical use between men and women? Are there differences in the number or style of the metaphors between the sexes? Do women use more or less metaphors than men? And do men or women use more or less of a specific kind of metaphor than the other sex? Originally, we wanted to have general magazines, male magazines, or general women's magazines. This was rather difficult because most men magazines are topic based. So a man magazine tend to be based on cars or on computers, and it was difficult to find a general male magazine. Whereas women magazines also have topic-based magazines, but they also have more general magazines as well. We eventually found a magazine, Men's Health and Women's Health magazines, which is not a general magazine, but it is pretty close. They aren't just about health. There are articles in there on fashion and other things, but that was as close as we could get to a general magazine for both male and female that was comparative. We also needed to find a magazine. We wanted more than one country, so we wanted to have a magazine, for instance, in American English and British English and Dutch or whatever, and not just have one country. So it was also difficult to find a magazine comparable in different countries. Originally, we found a few magazines where it was a male magazine, but the editor was a female, and we had a discussion on how you would, if you chose such an article, how you would analyze it, because although it's a female writer, she's writing to a male audience. So would you then analyze that as female or male? In the end, it didn't make any difference because we found, of our 6 magazines, we found that the male magazines had male writers and the female magazines had female writers, so that worked out fine. These are the 6 magazines we have. We have Women's Health and Men's Health magazines from America, Great Britain, and the Netherlands. These are the 3 Women's Health articles. You can see that there's a little bit of a difference in layout and form. 2 are more of an article, whereas 1 is more of an advertising based, but it is, when you look at it more closely, there is a sort of form or article in it. It's the same with the men's. 1 is a bit more wordier than the others. There's 2 different kinds of layouts, but we did not focus on that much. We really wanted to focus on metaphorical use and not style of the particular article. The method we used was the MID method. We chose Macmillan Dictionary for English and Van Dalen for Dutch. Originally, when we started looking at metaphors between what is the basic or what is the contextual meaning, and we had 2 or 3 different dictionaries opened, we found that having different dictionaries was really complicated because different dictionaries gave a different basic meaning. So it was much better and easier and clearer to use one English dictionary, and we chose the Macmillan Dictionary. For the Dutch article, we chose Van Dalen. We also decided to use to view lexical units as one single metaphor. So if there were compounds, for instance, pencil skirt or stiletto shoes was viewed as one metaphor and not 2. And also phrases. Been there, read that, for instance. We viewed that as a single metaphor. There were also idioms and fixed expressions. Een bruggetje maken, for instance, or beauty is skin deep. And there was a direct metaphors, but they were not viewed within the MIP uh, format. Although we did analyze them, we did not use MIP. Initial results show that there were lots of typical literary metaphors. They were used to frame an article, for instance. Lots of image metaphors were used, lots of personification, and then there was one mega metaphor as well. We also found that half of the articles used power or strength in the articles, and so we'll be looking at those as well more closely, because although they are health magazines, and at least one in the male magazine, they talked about the punching power of a boxer, which is very physical, which you would expect in a health magazine. There were also references to power and strength in emotional power of strength, or mental strength. So we're going to look into that more closely as well. We found a number of creative metaphors. There was elaboration, been there, read that. There was extending. There was combining and questioning as well. And we'll be looking into that as well, and writing on that. These are the references we used, although I'm sure this will also be extended as we go along further. Thank you for your attention, and that is our presentation.